Hello, everybody. This is Joanne Mutri. I am a coach for professional women, ambitious professional women who are looking to really step into their purpose, align with their desires, and create a life and business that is truly magnetic. A life and business that brings you joy based on your unique gifts and talent. So I help you launch businesses that are passionate, businesses that will bring you prosperity, businesses that will bring you joy, and above all, a life that you create by design, not just to survive, but to thrive. So if you're joining me this evening, whether for the first time, for you, it could be evening, for others, it could be morning, whichever time of day it is, I just want to give a big thank you to you for joining me. And I just want you to say hello in the chat and let me know where you are joining in from. So Joanne is joining in right now from the United Kingdom. Kaine is joining. Hello, Kaine. Hello, Esther. I'm so pleased that you guys are here. If you could just put in the chat and invite a friend, let someone know that we are live as the notifications go out. But in the meantime, I just want to say you are tuning in from Kampala. All right, Esther, where you tuning in from? And as you join in, please let me know. The biggest joy that I have really is being able to create a business that is based on what I like to do. I love to teach. I'm a natural teacher. And one of the things that I remember is people say that child loves to speak, that child loves to talk. And now when I look back, what back then would have looked like, oh, this child talks too much, has become a big blessing to me because I have been gifted with the gift of the garb, and I have been gifted to be able to share not only of my expertise and my knowledge, but to help women from across the globe literally to transform their lives. But that started from me taking the first step of courage, the first step that I can do this. Some of you may know the backstory, some of you may not. But I want to say this: when I started this journey, I was so skeptical. I was like, who am I to do this? I had so many thoughts in my head. I had just moved to England. I had moved to a new country just a short few years ago. And you can imagine, as a foreigner, moving to a new country, you don't know anything. When I say I didn't know anything, I did not know anything. I was trying to find my way around. Where is the supermarket? Which is the Sainsbury's? Which is the Tesco? Now, of course, I didn't know those names that time. And I'm like figuring it out. And at the same time, I've left a really lucrative, career that I had been in for years, 13 years with the UN and 2 years before that with the local banking sector, and then coming to start from scratch. And when I look back right now, there's something that I want to say. The reason that I'm here right now is because of what we are going to talk to you today. I am supported right now as we speak, not only supported by the most amazing clients, but also supported greatly by a team that works with me, that supports me, that holds me. And today, you guys usually see in the chat Team Joanne. And today, I just want to bring one person in my team. And we're going to have an amazing conversation with her in just a few minutes. You guys will adore her and you'll understand why she's part of my life. But as you come in, where it says Facebook user, if you can allow StreamYard to come in, it will show me who is saying hello. But I can see somebody says, good evening, watching from Kenya. Please put in the chat witty so that I can acknowledge you. But before I bring in my friend, I want to say, my colleague and my dear staff member, I just want to also say this: invite a friend. Somebody is going to benefit. Don't be that sort of person who's like, who wants to hold all the good, yummy goodies for yourself. Sharing is caring, so you never know who needs. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I want to say, please do hit that subscribe and say all notifications so that you do not miss out. I have made it my business to show up on this YouTube. We've just started just a couple of months ago, and we are steadily getting there. And I'm committed to bringing really solid content that will be meaningful and that will add value to your life. Avani, thank you so much for joining me. We just jumped from our business call with Avani, Esther, a few of you, Kaine, and it was so beautiful to see you guys migrate from there straight to this. So, ladies, and a few amazing gents, because we always have a few gents. Let's welcome my dear Jennifer. Jennifer, many of you see Team Joanne in the chat, and I want to bring someone very dear to me. She's on my team. And I want you, Jennifer. Jennifer, do you, I've said who you are, but Jennifer, do you want to do a quick introduction of yourself?
Yes, please.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Joanne.
Everybody say hello to Jennifer on the chat. Let's say hi
Hi,
to her.
everyone. Hi, Joanne. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
You're
My name
welcome.
is Jennifer Fori from West Africa, precisely Ghana. And I'm really, really thrilled to be here today to join this live. I'm always at, behind the scenes, but today everybody gets to see my face here. And I'm really, really happy to be here today. And thank you so much, Joanne.
You're so
Yes, so
welcome, Jennifer. And Jennifer, just a quick
thank you.
um, intro, because they're saying hello in the chat. You work in my team, but more specifically, what is it that you do on the team? Because it's so important that we give the audience a bit of context so that they can understand, the different roles. What is it? So, what is it? What roles do you play in the business?
Okay, so I'm a virtual assistant to Joanne in her business, and basically what I do is work on client workbooks and create content help to align with Joanne's business. So basically, I do the administration work for Joanne there. So as I said, with graphics, with designs, with her help also with her master classes, processes to get there. And yes, basically the workbook. So yes,
Yeah,
that's what we do.
yeah. And Jennifer, why I asked you that is because many people just see me on the front end. They see me doing these live videos. They just see me and they think this is all I do day and night. Would you want to give them a little glimpse of Joanne's life generally?
Ah, yes. So I would say working with Joanne, I get to see Joanne 5 times a week. Even I'm a virtual assistant, I there's always a meeting, no matter how long or no matter how short it is. We definitely meet to organize ourselves and plan forward for any upcoming master classes, any upcoming workbooks, anything that has to do with business. So behind the scenes, we meet 5 times a week. Yeah, sometimes we even meet twice in a day if it's necessary, just to help with the productivity of the work. So behind the scenes, we work hand in hand to create content, to practice it, to any shortcomings, we make sure that we help each other. I learned so much from Joanne, and yes, I'm always grateful when I wake up to work because I know there's definitely something different to do. And yes, we are always researching for more and more and more and more. So yes, that's what we do behind the scenes.
What type of clientele do we serve really?
Sorry. Oh yes, for the clients, when I started working with Joanne, I know women in general. People work with males, people work with women, but with Joanne is really specific. She work with professional, ambitious women. When I get the opportunity to meet Joanne's clients, I'm always thrilled to meet them. Like, wow, these women mean business, and they always put her on her toes because when I met them first, I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it because they are really, really ambitious. They know what they want. That's why they come in for Coach Joanne. So they always want value, and I think it's a win-win for both Joanne and her clients because they also impact her life as well. Sometimes she's really, really appreciated with the kind of client that come her way because they are always pushing her to do their best and stretch her. So yes, I'm really proud of her clients personally. I'm really, really proud of all of them.
So one of the things that has been happening behind the scenes, and we want to talk a little bit about that, is we do a lot of work for our clients, as you've had. But as a team, we made sure we're like very well, we're serving our clients. And as you heard Jennifer say, we work with ambitious, trailblazing women who actually literally keep me on my toes. And one of the things that I said is that we have a standard of excellence as a team that we would want to put, there's certain values, there's certain virtues, there are certain standards that we want to maintain within the business. So I sat down with Jennifer and I suggested something to her, and she was like, absolutely, let's go for it. So, Jennifer, do you want to share that a little before I teach in a few minutes?
Okay. So we're having an ongoing challenge. Actually, in business generally, in Joanne's business generally, she's having a challenge with her ambitious women, and she seemed redeemed to she just told me, okay, I'm having this challenge with my clients, which is business. What about us? Why don't we, hop on a challenge which is going to be of personal development, is going to be of good to us, so that we can use that as well to help in the productivity of the company. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for it, because if we are not well equipped, how are we going to serve clients? So I was like, I was really, really, happy with it, because working with John is all about growth. And if I don't challenge myself, how am I going to grow? How am I going to change, have a positive change? So currently we are on a 100-day challenge, and I am
And
really, really happy with it.
so, yeah, so before we go to, a little bit into that, I
Okay.
remember sharing with you about how I feel that we should do work on ourselves as well, because it's so important that what we do behind the scenes really aligns with what we tell our clients. We can't be telling our clients to do one thing and we're doing the opposite. So Jennifer and I set goals for ourselves for the next 100 days. We said that we're going to work on ourselves, we're going to work on different parts, and Jennifer
Mhm.
set some goals for herself, as I did as well. So Jennifer, before I go into more content, we say that we're going to share some of our goals, not necessarily deeply like that, but do you
Yeah.
want to give share an example of what some of these goals are? And ladies in the chat, please encourage Jennifer. It's not easy to share your goals with the world. So Jennifer, what do you want to share with us a couple of your goals?
Yes. It's not easy to share your goals with others, but working with you, I've gained so much confidence, and I
Yes.
have learned to speak, speak, just say it. So I'm actually privileged to share these goals with these ambitious women. So
Yeah.
so I'm going to share two of the goals, and one is health.
Mm.
Health is wealth. If I'm not in my good shape, if I'm always giving excuses, how am I going to work, and how is the business going to, develop and be on a speed dial? So the first goal for me is health. And as a virtual assistant, I spend most of my day, of most of my hours in the day behind the desk. So I tend
Mm.
to sit more, and I don't get to exercise more as I used to before became a virtual assistant. So as time goes, I'm like, okay, I have to really, for the rest 5 months of the year left, I have to really take into consideration with my health. I don't need to wait till I get sick and then, get myself to the hospital. It's too much stress. So why don't I do it now? Why don't
Mhm.
I, take precaution now? Prevention is
Yeah,
better than cure. So I'm like, okay,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
would really, really, really want to take my health seriously, because that's what's going to give me the happiness I need. If I'm not well, I won't be happy. So I'm like, okay, so health is the first goal. And with that, I'm going to drink a lot of water, because I'm not good at drinking water at all. So it's one of the things that I'm going to inhabit, to drink a lot and lots of water and exercise during the day. Yes. So
That's
that's the
the
first
first
goal.
one. Yes.
And the second goal is my spiritual life.
Uh-huh.
I don't joke with my spiritual life, because God is the pillar of my life. Is the pillar that holds my life. So
Mm.
the second goal was to build more with my spirituality, because if if I'm healthy, I have to be healthy with my soul as well. It has to be in aligned with everything. In Ghana, every I was born on Tuesday, and we have a belief and we have a faith in that when you fast on the day that you were born, you're going to get so much blessings. You're going to prevent bad things happening to you, and so on and so on. So I fast every Tuesday of my life, and I don't think I'm going to stop. It's something that I'm really benefiting from it, and I
Mm,
encourage that everybody would do that as well. At least it's just once in a week. So I was born on Tuesday, and I fast on Tuesdays. And the
wow.
other thing I want to do as well is to take up leadership role in church, because if I'm not, I don't want to always consume. I don't always want to just go to church and listen to the word. I don't always want to just go to church and drive back home. No, I want to also participate in the house of God, because if I am working, I'm able to work for Joanne. I have to be able to work for God as well, and that's
Mm,
where the blessings is going to come from. So I decided to grow in my spirituality and take up leadership roles in church as well. So these are the two goals that I have set up for myself for the rest of the year, to challenge myself and be better at it before the year ends. Thank you.
excellent. So before I go to mine, I just want
Mm,
you to give a quick encouragement to somebody who is sitting on their goals, because I'm gonna definitely, teach a little, but many
mm,
people teach excuses, and today I'm gonna talk about excuses and how excuses
mm,
hold us back. Have you found that doing this process with me, does it make it
mm.
easier, or even if you're on your own, you'd have done it? Is there anything that you feel from this experience you'd want to share, because we just started a couple of days ago?
Yes, yes, interesting. So one thing I learned from, I think, day two of the challenge is
Yes,
to establish preeminence, yes,
yes,
and
preeminence.
that's
Yeah.
yes, thank you, preeminence. And with that, if I am, confident with myself to be superior, if I'm confident every day I wake up and I'm like, I want to be better than who I was yesterday, I want to be superior with everything that I do, definitely I'm going to reach my goal. Because before that, when I wake up, I'm like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And it's not going to be that. You have to take a bold step. So with the challenge, I've been able to understand that before you can be successful, you have to take a bold step. You have to challenge yourself to be better than who you were yesterday, not better than somebody you are looking at. So if somebody is doing better, you just have to say it to yourself that I have to be better than who I was yesterday, not to be like Coach Joanne, because you don't know what Coach Joanne does daily. You don't know what she goes through. You don't know her challenges, and you don't know how heavy or how light her shoes are that you want to carry. So it is you yourself that you have to work on. Because if Coach Joanne did not work on herself, she wouldn't be here for us to be impacted. So it's about you. So that's what I would encourage everybody to do. And one thing you should also remember is that you have to be content with life. Do not rush. Just take it one step at the other. It's just, you just have to believe in yourself. That's why I'm not joking with my spirituality, because if I have faith and I know that behind me I have God, what else? What else am I afraid of? What,
That's it.
what else am I? Yes, I have God with me. I am courageous. I'm confident. You're on the best track ever. Don't rush too much in life. Everybody has a purpose in life, and God Himself brought us to this earth to fulfill it. The one who brought you here is ready for you. So you
Wow.
just have to take it one step at the other, and you'll be fine. So yes, be content in life, and thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
You will
thank
be fine. I like that. And to be content. And I wish somebody could pass over the offertory basket, because you've
you.
a salmon right there, and I can see it's, you've picked so many gems, and you have such important gems. And before I take you leave the studio right now, what happened this morning regarding my goal? Because it's something really practical. What happened this morning? Just share real quick.
Yes, yes, yes. So before every meeting, we plan on the time that we're going to have a meeting. So I was even ready for the meeting in 30 minutes, and I got a message from you that you've shifted it to the next 30 minutes because you had to finish with your exercise. And because I'm on a challenge with you, I aligned with you. I understood. I was like, Joanne is really taking this challenge seriously. She doesn't want to make excuses because just 30 minutes of her time would not delay or prevent her from being who she wants to be or running her business. So that's what happened today. You shifted 30 minutes of our meeting to your exercise time so that you'll be able to achieve your challenge for today. So that was really, really encouraging, honestly.
And that's why it's so important to have accountability. Why? Because when I talked to you, you understood where I'm coming from. You didn't feel like I've dishonored our time. You knew my why. You know, there is a big reason. I want to be a healthy coach for my clients. I want
Yes.
to be in a position that the things that I'm talking are not just
Mm.
hot air. You know, we're doing exactly what it is that we are saying. And I really want to thank you, Jennifer, for your contribution to the team. I truly, truly treasure you. And as you said, you get to experience me every single day. And sometimes I'm like, Jennifer, we have to do it this way. And he's like, gosh, Joanne. But one thing I want to say is that you are so teachable. You're so willing to support me. You understand that the vision is so much bigger than me. And that's the best gift that any team member can bring. Being so aligned, you love the women, you even know them. You're like, oh, Joanne, you forgot to do this for so and so, blah, blah, or you need to do this, and really supporting me. So I just want to say a big thank you, and thank you for the contribution that you made for the first 20 or so minutes. And Jennifer, I
Yeah,
will release you to go back and do Team Joanne work on. But thank you
definitely.
so, so much, right?
You're
And
welcome.
Jennifer, so many people are saying hello to you. And Esther, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I don't know if there's anybody else who has said hello, but even as you come in and say hello, it's always lovely to see you all. So, Jennifer, thank you again. And I will continue from there, right?
Thank
So,
you so much, and thank you, everybody.
all right. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so that was Team Joanne, Jennifer, and she did share some amazing gems. I was so happy, just listening to her and just hearing her own contributions, how she has grown within the business, and also the things that she's doing for her life. And she did share her goals, and I'm going to give you a couple of mine. But before we go into, why I'm talking about goals and why I'm showing you behind the scenes of our 100-day challenge, is because I realized something, and this is not something that has to do with you, it has to do with all of us as human beings. And the reason is that what I want to talk about today is our excuses, how we can turn excuses into reason. So, can someone write for me in the chat, turning an excuse into a reason? And I want to define these things properly for you because it's so important that you understand what an excuse is and understand why you do the things that you do, because some of you will be very quick to justify that it's not an excuse, it's exactly what is happening in my life, right? The way someone can say I can't do stuff because of my kids, but I also want to say that the reason that you're going to do the thing is because of your kids. And ladies, just one quick moment. I've just realized there's a part of my notes that, yes, turning an excuse into a reason. One part of my notes that I need to bring. So just give me a second, all right? I'm back. Sorry. I actually had them in front of me. So when you start saying that this is the reason that I'm going to do something, I'm going to give you some scenarios. But before I give you the scenario, I want each one of you who is watching to think into your mind, go back to your mind, to your recesses and say, what is it that I want to accomplish, in these last 5 months of the year? For me and Jennifer, our team, we are working with an 100-day goal. But for you, what is it that you want to see before the end of 2022? And if you're a brave soul put it in the chat, because I want to teach you something that completely changed my life before we go into turning the excuses. Because once you get this beat fast, everything is going to change. So tell me, what's a goal that you want to put, what is it that you want to achieve before the end of the year? And we're going to talk about that. So the first thing that I want you to do is to understand how to magnetize, right? For me, magnetize your desires by normalizing them. This is something that one of my mentors, one of my mindset coaches taught me, that has been so useful in helping me achieve my goals and in helping me get those things that I want. I was teaching my business class earlier, and I shared with them how I went into a posh showroom, and I was telling them how I walked in and I was seeing this 100,000, 150,000, 200,000 pound cars, and I was doing the calculation in my head and changing it into dollars and changing it into into Kenyan currency. And I'm like, the person who drives that car is a human being like me. Their blood is not green, their blood is not black, their blood is red, you know. And I went literally around the showroom, and I did even a cute little video. I don't know if I can show you, if it will be able to show. I'll just play a bit of it for you. This is just before I came to this call, and I'm like, it is possible. This is at the parking. I don't know if I can show you guys. You can see even six earlier today, and you can see I was literally there, and I was looking at them, and then this is on the outside, and then I went to the inside, and I'm like, oh, let's have a nice look at the cars, right? And you can see them, and I'm like, wow, you can see there on the screen. And then I did a cute little video. Let me show it to you round, and you'll see the prices of some of them. I even went close up. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. That one is 169,000 pounds. Look at them. You can probably, you think you saw my husband at the back there. This one is 270,000 pounds. And I'm like, wow. That one is, can't see it very clearly, but what I'm trying to say is I want you to start thinking, how can you normalize the things that you want in your life? And there's a poster that was there in the room, in the showroom, that I want to show you, that I really like. As you can see, this is me just today. Can you see that statement there? I'm going to read it for you. That's me. It says, in the beginning, I looked around and could not find quite the car I dreamt of. So I decided to build it myself. And that quote is by Ferry Porsche, who is the founder. And I want to ask you, are you that innovative? Do you believe that much in yourself, that if something is lacking in your life, you're not going to look at other people to be the solution provider? You're not going to make excuses for it. You're going to be like, you know what? This thing, I haven't found it in the market. I'm going to be an innovator for it. I haven't seen this thing in the market. You know what? I have the potential. I have the gift. I can be the one to create it. So I want you to think more as a creator, as I always say, than a consumer. And Kaine has shared her goals, and if there's someone else who wants to share, love to see that. She wants to have raised enough money to enjoy a New Year's getaway in Zanzibar with her friends. So we're going to talk about that right now. Did you hear what she said? I'll use her example. I want to have raised enough money to enjoy a New Year's getaway in Zanzibar with my friends. So the first thing I want to teach you about magnetizing your desires to you by normalizing them is, number one, stop acting like your desires are so far away. So like me going into that showroom and be like, oh, this is too far. When will that's a whole house, that car. Like, move from that scarcity mentality. You can still buy the house and you can still buy the car. We are creators, and in a creator's economy, there is no, and I want you to get this, there is no scarcity in a creator's economy, because we are created. We were created to take dominion. We were created to flourish. We were created to be fruitful and to multiply. So if you're in a multiplication scenario, because that is what you are created to do, to dominate, to subdue, to dominate, and to take charge of everything that has been given to you. That is the mandate you've been given already. So you already are that. So if you step into the embodiment of that, that you've been given the dominion. You have been told to subdue and take everything under your control, and then understand that you've been told to be fruitful and to multiply. You know that what you're not doing is taking, is subtracting. You are multiplying. Can someone get that? In a creator's economy, and this is because you are a co-creator with God. So you and God, as you are a co-creator with God. God will not come down from heaven to do the thing that you've been assigned to do. So you, as a co-creator with Him, have been put into this earth with a mandate, and that mandate is for you to go forth, to take dominion, to be fruitful, and to multiply. And the moment you take that and understand that and be very serious with it, your life will change. And as Kenny has reiterated what I've said, in a creator's economy, there is no scarcity, because naturally we were created to flourish. We were created to multiply, not to take away. And that's why we find that even when we're in that scarcity mindset, get this, somebody needs to hear this. When you're saying, oh, I don't have money to do this, I cannot do this because of my age, I cannot do this because of time. Guess what feelings are happening in your body? Tell me. Can someone say? You constrict. Why? Because that's not your natural default. Your natural default is to expand, to multiply, to flourish, to thrive. So when you're against what you are created to do, when you start going into those little things of, oh, I can't do this, I don't have the confidence to do this, you start shrinking back. And that shrinking is contracting. You contract back because that's not your original state. Can someone get that? Put that in the chat if you say, right, I get it. Because if you get that, your life will change. And I'm saying that for a fact, that if you're listening to me and you understand that in a creator's economy, there's no scarcity because we're created to flourish, and that you were created to be fruitful and to multiply, immediately things will start shifting for you. So Kenny, thank you so much for that. And the next thing I want to say, so stop acting like these things are so far away, because that scarcity mentality is the one which causes you to shrink, and you call in that which you're believing. So if you believe that because it's an election year, and that you're in a country where there's elections right now, like in Kenya, there's elections coming in the next few days. You're thinking, oh, I'm gonna hold all my money, I'm gonna hold all my food, I'm gonna hold everything because I'm scared of what will happen. Guess what? Your body will start getting into that thing. That yucky feeling of, however, Esther gets it. However, if you're like, you know what? Elections is a day. Whatever the outcome, I have put in my vote wisely. And that's understanding that at the end of the day, the politicians are not the ones who are going to put food on your table. You have to go back and do your work and get into that mindset of understanding that life is moving on. Elections will come, elections will go, and your life has to continue. Your bills have to be paid, your obligations have to be met, you have to do what you're created to do it. So if you stop looking at things from scenario based, right? Reactive rather than responsive. You react to everything. Oh, elections. Oh, I don't have money. Oh, I don't have the other. And you become so, it just pushes you back. But when you think from the expansive state, from the place that you are literally, you are created to thrive, and you take that position and believe it, you'll start turning your excuses into reasons. And I'm going to talk about this. So the second thing I want to say is act as if you already have it, the thing that you desire. So kind of act like somebody who is already, start thinking to yourself, how is it gonna be in Zanzibar? Am I going to be visiting the Spice Islands? So Google what's in Zanzibar, the Spice Islands. What experiences am I going to have? What are some of the souvenirs I'm going to bring from Zanzibar? What are some of the experiences I want to create? So start tapping into the energy of Zanzibar now. Because let me tell you what, New Year's is around the corner. You breathe, we are breathing, and it's New Year's. So start being in that space. Start thinking, feeling that thing in your head of the palm trees, the wind blowing on your face. Think about the waves crashing. Think about the beautiful blue water, the white sandy beaches. Think about, as I said, the Spice Islands and all the souvenirs and the gifts you're going to take back. Think about the rest and relaxation, right? And you see, you've already said, we are looking at booking out a house between 6 of us, private pool, private chef. So I will reframe that for you. So I'm saying we have booked, it's done. We have booked a house between the 6 of us. It's done. And I can't wait to jump into that pool. And I can't wait to eat the delectable meals that our private chef has created. I can already smell the cardamom. I can already see, the different coastal dishes that the chef will be making. So start calling those things that are not as if they already are. Like Esther, she can smell the beach. She can smell the smell of that humid air of the ocean. She can see the waves coming hard and fast. She can see the tide in the morning going away, and in the evening seeing the tide coming back. She can visualize herself. Me, I'm visualizing myself, if I'm you kind of there, picking seashells. I don't know if seashells are still allowed to be collected, but you know what I mean. She picks seashells by the seashore. We're gonna try that, but you understand what I mean. Then act as if you already have it, or you're that person now. And that's why we are called human beings. Can someone write that for me? I am a human being. What is a human being? You are already being the person, the embodiment. You've stepped into the identity that you've been created to be, even though you do not feel it just yet. So everything that happens into our life in our lives is so strategic that even God knew He's called making us human beings. We are not called human doings. That it's your actions that are going to give you the results. It's your being. It's your embodiment. It's stepping into that thing and normalizing it. That's why you are a being. So I look at myself, and I say this all the time with pride. I look at myself as, because my clients call me, that's already a highly favored coach running a highly favored empire. But a highly favored empire cannot be run by excuses. It does not run on excuses. It has to be created by deliberate effort. And that is how this 100-day challenge has come. You want to launch a business, you want to build a business, and we're having the next profitable business launch boot camp on the 27th of August. Even if you have a business and you have an idea and you're like, I want to launch this NGO, I don't know where to start, I'm not sure, I have this idea in my head, you need to be there in that room on the 27th of August. Why? Because what you're going to get from that one day will set the trajectory for your future in so many ways. And many of you here have attended the last boot camp we had on the 2nd of July. We've now opened the doors officially right now as I speak for the next one, and we're going to share with you the link in a short while. So I'm going to share it with you, Tim, and you can send it to me, because I literally just, you guys, I was literally finishing the updates on the site in the car, coming back from where I was earlier on. We don't stop, we keep going. The next thing is, it's not something, magnetizing your desires by normalizing them. It's not something out there, it's right here, it's right now, it's within your reach. That's why for me, I do things to tangibly. I want to touch it, I want to feel it. Right, this is one of my favorite perfumes. My husband got it for me. Remember I talked the last video when he was at the airport and he asked me what I want, right? And I got what I want, because I call it forth. I said, this is what I want. This is one of my favorite perfumes, brand new here. You can see them. And he was very generous to get me the big one. So I'm very excited about it, because this perfume, actually, I'm gonna open it so that you guys can see. It embodies so much. I'm opening it in front of for you guys to see. I have another one. It's the perfume I use. I love it. I use this one and Coco Mademoiselle. Those are my favorites. I'm just sharing with you for purposes of this thing. So this package goes, right? I don't need this package, but what is here is of incredible value. It's called Very Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. So if you guys want, you can just check it out. It's a really beautiful perfume. But I want to show you why I love this perfume. Not just because of the scent, but look at it, look at it, so classy. Look at that. That's a perfume bottle. Can someone just tell me you feel this bottle like me? This is how I feel when I'm even taking it out of the package, like on top of 6 inches, like that. That's how I feel. Isn't it cute? I love it. So this perfume already is just a constant reminder. It's not waste, but it's not cheap. But there you see, class, elegant. So I'm already being human being. Get that, ladies. Let me know if you're getting what it is that I'm sharing with you. So I just wanted, oh, let's keep it. This one is an asset. I have to look after it. The next thing is, as you normalize, stop making these things feel weird. Stop feeling weird about, oh, I want, oh, I need to show them. Should I show them the perfume? Should I not show them? No, be practical. For me, I'm showing you real life. This is real life. This is not a life that is made out of there. So don't stop feeling weird. Stop, normalize the things that you desire. So for me, this is a statement of class. It's a statement of elegance. That's for me. It may not be that for somebody else, but because I'm a human being and this is the embodiment and this really helps me feel good, I tap into this. So I need you to tap into something. Find something that you can tap to that is tangible. And then I want you to take action, which is stepping into being. Act as if. Act as if you are that classy woman, that woman who is so eloquent, that woman who keeps her word to herself, the woman who is that human being. And Kenneth says, dream with her, ladies. Check out Villa Serenity. I'm going to do that. We're going to check out Villa Serenity where she's going in Paje in Zanzibar. We are going, even me, I'm going to go in my head, right? Why? Because we are stop making our desires feel like they're weird. Or, oh my God, am I showing off? No, you're not. Your desires are your desires. My desires are mine. Mine are mine, yours are yours. So me having my desires does not stop you from having yours, and you having your desires does not stop me from having mine. Do you get this, darlings? Because when you get this, you won't have those things. I know you won't have those things of feeling comparisonitis, as Jennifer shared. We all have individual journeys. Slay in your lane. Coach is slaying in her lane, you slay in your lane. I'm slaying in mine, you slay on yours. So let me tell you how you normalize things. So I write normalizing statements. So I want you ladies to get this. Once you get these normalizing statements, your life is going to change. So how do I write normalizing statements? So take a notebook right now. I want you to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how normal do your desires seem to you? Esther gets it. Right now, how normal do your desires feel for you? Someone else would be looking at this and I'm like, whatever, man, that's has. Or someone would be listening to Kindness' desire of going to the beach and they're like, good for her. What are yours? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how normal do your desires seem to you? Do they seem so far-fetched? Do they seem so far? And then the second thing, and I've shown you how to do this, is how can you shift and change so that these things seem normal? Look for the evidence. So if you watched my last video, I said my husband was there to ask me what I want. I asked it, and I always tell my clients, a closed mouth don't get fed. So I asked for what I wanted, and what I wanted came to me. And what I wanted, I have opened it with you guys here so that you can get a feel of normalizing receiving the things that we want, because we are natural empaths, we are givers, we are always helping others. What about us being ready to normalize to receive? The next thing I want to say is, what action can you take to normalize at least one of your desires? So again, kind of thank you for giving us an example. Others were shy, but you know what? I always say, a closed mouth don't get fed. I'm going to use your example again. So how do we normalize kindness desire of going to Serenity Villa with 6 other people, with a private chef? I was going to say the private jet. Kenny, it's coming. I was going to say the private jet, the private pool, the private everything, right? So you say this. This is how I do my normalizing statements. And I want to teach you something that I do. And I wrote for you some of mine. So I wrote this. It's normal for me to mix and mingle with 6 and 7 figure business owners. I fit right in. I'm normalizing, I'm being. I'm taking that embodiment of the identity that I'm stepping into, even though it may not be there yet at that level. I'm already eating my spirit. I'm just waiting to step into it. I'm calling it forth. And as I'm calling it forth, I'm preparing myself by doing the things. What does a 6 and 7 figure Anna, what's the kind of perfume they wear? The rich auntie, how does the rich auntie behave? What does she drive? How does you do those kind of things? So I hope you're learning a lot from what I'm teaching you today. And don't think these are for other people. You are also a person, and these things are available for you. If you desire something, it's available for you. Why was it put into your heart and not mine? Because when a desire is put into you, the one who put it in your heart has every ability to make it come to pass. So please don't undermine your desires. They were not given to you to waste. They were given to you so that you can take the necessary actions by being a human being and stepping into it and taking the necessary actions to get to that place. So it's normal for me to mix and mingle with 6 and 7 figure business owners. It's normal for me to have amazing clients who pay me on time and in full. It's normal for me. Are you getting? Can I see your normalizing statements as I'm sharing mine? Because it's not just about me sharing, it's a collaborative effort. Put your normalizing statement. I'm just giving you a few. It's normal for me to have a ton of creative ideas that I can monetize quickly. And that's part of what we do, like in the Purposeful Business Launch boot camp and all the other programs that we offer. So what I'm saying, it's normal for me to have a ton of creative ideas that I can monetize quickly and easily. It's normal for me to sell out my programs and courses with ease. It's normal for me to have a business and a team that is so easy to work with, that is fun and effortless. We flow, we don't force. That is how you create normalizing statements. Let me know if we're together. Because for me, I can tell you for a fact, the time that I started this normalizing, it just clicked. Because when I write these normalizing statements every single day, it now becomes, I'm like, you know what? It's done. I'm doing it. Because excuses will not build an empire. And neither will you minimizing your desires help you, because what you're doing is you're shoving down the thing that you want. And there's a proverb, a Yiddish proverb that I like. It says, when it comes to excuses, it says something that I like. It says this: the girl who can't dance says the band can't play. Are you one of those? The girl who can't dance says the band can't play. So, what do you want to do right now? I want to ask you. The first thing, do you blame the band? Are you the girl who blames the band? So, blaming the band is the excuse. Do you get this? And then acknowledge that you're. So, the next step is okay, we are moving from the excuse, right? We are moving to reason. So, acknowledge that you are not dancing because you don't know how. That's the reason. Please let me know you're getting this stuff, because if this stuff is entering your mind, you can be able to shift situations real quick. So the reason in this case is acknowledge that you aren't dancing because you don't know how. That's the reason. And then where we now move into the being and taking the actions and being decisive is learn to dance. This is how you turn your reason into action. Turn your reason into action. So I'm giving you very practical step by steps that you can use in your life right now. So one of the things that I had said to myself at some point is, you know what? I really feel that I would want to pursue a PhD. Then at the time, the reason was, it's so expensive. It's going to take so long. Some of the schools that I wanted to join, I'm like, this is really competitive for me. And then I'm talking about many years ago. Then the reasons at the time, and I want you to get this, were because I was really scared. I had a lot of self doubt. Another thing is that I did not, in my head now, when I look back, I did not trust my own level of self discipline to follow through with the program, or my ability to handle the disappointment if I did not complete the program. So I was very honest with myself. What was the reason? And then now, from a more empowered space, from the work that I've talked about right now, being clear about my desires, what I want in the direction I want to go, it's very evident to me now. It's not a matter of excuses, it's not a matter of reasons. It's very evident to me that right now a PhD is not what I need in my life. So all that changed. It's like, you know what? you don't need it right now. It's not even in your desires. Why? Because it's just not something that I feel is going to change anything in my life right now. So it moved from being an excuse to really me going deep down and finding out that, you know what, you're doing that PhD to feel more like, oh my God, if I add all these courses, I add this knowledge, I will look like I know more. Then I realized I already know so much. I don't need a PhD to validate my knowledge. So now I'm operating from a place of personal power and choice. Can someone write that for me in the chat? Personal power and choice. Because when you operate from a place of personal power and choice, you're able to move beyond the excuses. You're able to have that mental toughness to make the best decisions for yourself and to say that, you know what, I realized that then it was important to me. Now it isn't, and that's cool. And be cool with that, right? Very, very, very important for you to see that. And then I also want you to think to yourself, right? What are some of the excuses you're making? So some of you are saying, let's talk about this. This is very serious. So you say to yourself that I cannot afford to start a business right now, right? That's your excuse. I cannot start a business right now. I don't have the money, or it's election, so I'm holding all my money. I don't want to use my money. I don't know if a business is going to is sustainable right now, or not for profit. There's too much happening in the economy. I'm gonna hold back and not do this thing right now. All right, that's your excuse. That's what you're saying. So how you turn an excuse into a reason is this: you say to yourself, I actually cannot afford not to launch that business right now, because there are people on the other side waiting for me to show up in my purpose. There's somebody praying for me right now, saying, where can I get the person who has this solution to this deep need that only I can offer? Reframe it. So you're moving from the excuse, oh, I can't afford to launch this business now, to the reason, I cannot afford not to launch this business, because there's so many people attached to my destiny, and if I do not show up for them, I'm actually doing a disservice to myself and to them. Can someone get that right now? You guys are getting it, yes. And I hope I'm speaking to someone right now. I want to convict you. Because when the vision is given to you, you'll get everything that you need to support you. Many of us are like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I don't have the support. But when you start, just take that first step. Everything is going to show up for you. Everything is on the other side of you believing that, you know what? I've been given this thing for a reason and I'm going to do it. So be open and say to yourself that, you know what? I'm going to do this. Let's look at another example. I've had people say, I can't afford to keep my house organized because my kids are all over the place. Does that make sense? Or I can't keep my house in order because my kids are all over the place. I have kids, they're eating, they're doing so many things, right? When you change from the excuse to the reason, let me tell you what this sounds like. Literally, I need to keep my house neat and tidy because of my kids. I want my kids to be in an enabling environment that shows them that discipline is important. You're teaching your kids how to maintain a clean house. You're teaching your kids virtues and values that will help them move forward. So instead of the excuse that my house cannot be tidy because of my kids, the reason is I have to keep my house clean and tidy because of my kids. I want them to see the importance of order. I want them to see the reason why we need to have structure. Does that make sense? Say yes or not. Let me see. This. I really want to move house, but wondering how I will afford that house rent with other pressing financial obligations at home. It doesn't feel like a priority. You've already answered that, Esther. And that's where personal choice comes, so that we've said, and personal power. So you do not need to move house now if it's not a priority. There's no pressing need for you to move right now. I would use the time to save up. That's what I would do. I'd use the time to save up. I would use the time to declutter, get rid of what I don't need, so that by the time we've saved enough money, you have saved enough money, the move will not feel like you're stretching it. Sometimes we stretch ourselves beyond. I say, cut your dress according to the size. If right now the house you're surviving and you can afford, you're saying you can afford the other one, I would suggest that you work in terms of obligations. And why I'm talking to in terms of priorities, and why I'm able to say this to Esther is because I know Esther, so I know her circumstances. So I wouldn't be talking like this to somebody who's external circumstances I don't know. So based on her prevailing circumstances, my recommendation to her would be to hold that back. The new house they'll move to ain't going nowhere. But the obligations that have to be met must be met. And in the interim, start doing the work that I showed you. Start doing the getting rid of what you don't need, looking at the budget around the house, thinking about where is this money is going to come from. Do you need to launch a business? Attend the Purposeful Business Launch Bootcamp to see how you can start making more money, so that you're able to move into the creators economy where you can create money. I wake up, ladies, and many of you know, and I'll create a course tomorrow, and the money for something that I need comes up there and then, because we are creators. So Esther, I want you to tap into your creative mindset. How can you create this money? How can you use your gifts? How can you use your skills to create what you want? It's possible, you know? For me, I believe that sacrifice and dedication really is necessary for greatness. And when you start looking at things from how can I make it happen, rather than, oh, it wouldn't happen. I'm stretched right now in my circumstances. How can I make the money? Money is out there. There's so much money floating in this world. We live in an abundant universe. And some of that money belongs to you, Esther. How can you say, I want to secure my bag? How do I do that? You have so many skills, you have so much knowledge. I know you. Create something, and that money in your head. I always say money has to have an intention. So say that the money that I'm creating is towards the down payment of the new house, and go on and create it. You'll be so surprised. It's going to come so quickly. You'll even ask yourself. Another thing is, is that, I'm giving another excuse that, oh, I do not have the time to, example, declutter my house. So how do we turn that around to a reason? I declutter so that I do not waste time looking for things all over. I love having so many things. I like, and I'm like, John, you have to get rid of this stuff. And I remember once, I'm like, I have like when we moved, because we just moved to our house not too long ago, and all things were in boxes, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know which box had what, and da, 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 da. And I remember I went to the supermarket to buy, quite an expensive thing. And I'm like, I don't know where it is, in which box it is. And I made that rash decision. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go and buy it. And it was quite expensive. And then I come home. You won't even believe it. And the first box I open is this thing I had gone to the supermarket to buy for a couple £100. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why couldn't you have just opened those boxes? The first box I opened, the thing was in there. So let's also not make rash decisions in spending money or doing the things. Let's have that order, because when you have order and chaos cannot operate together. I was operating from a chaotic mindset of, I need this thing, or I can't find it, I don't even know where it is, blah, 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 blah. And I go and waste my money. And the next thing I had to do is, I'm like, I'm not going to start going into eBay selling things. So this other one, I had to gift it. And I'm like, but you're the one who put yourself in that situation. So we can always get ourselves into situations that we can get out, that we can easily prevent, right? So I want you to start asking yourself, how can I reframe from an excuse to a reason? So I cannot go to the gym because my client work is so much. Excuse. As I cannot go to the gym because I have back-to-back coaching clients. The reason I go to the gym is so that I have energy for my clients. The reason I go to the gym is so that I have such clarity and focus that when I come back to my desk, I become a productivity machine. Are you ladies getting this? Because once you get this, so much is going to change for you. Be very intentional in what you do. So when I sat down and made my goals, I'm not going to share some of them, too much, but I'm just going to give you an idea. When we sat down with, I sat down with myself to do my goals, and of course, I shared them a bit with Jennifer. And when I did the financial goal, I had had a conversation with Kaine earlier about her own goals, and Kaine is here, so I can talk about her. I'm not gossiping about her; she's on the call. And she did. We set her goals for the month, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm stretching my client because I stretched her and I could feel, but she's like, John, we're gonna do this. So I sat down and I'm like, okay, I sat down with my client and I gave her this goal. We worked out this goal together. What about my goal? And let me tell you what I did. I doubled my goal. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna double my goal for August. I'm gonna be really serious with that. So that's the first goal that I created. I created a financial goal. I said to myself, this is what I'm going to create this month. And I buckled down to it and I started doing phone calls. By the time, we are already on August 4th. And I'll tell you this as we speak, we are only on August 4th. I'm already at 30% of the goal. And we are on August 4th. Why? Because I stretched myself. I believed in abundance. And those of you actually who are thinking, oh, this can happen, one of the people who helped me get closer to the goal is in the place where there's elections. And she's like, elections won't stop me from investing in myself. And when we had the conversation, she's like, I want the highest tier of coaching with you, which is the one-on-one. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. And she's like, we are gonna make it happen. And she's like, just give me overnight. I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. And the next day, the day, it was a Friday, so we talk on Monday. And on Monday, I sent her a message, and she's like, you know what? I'm making it happen. I figured it out. I'm doing this thing. Is that you? Do you stop making excuses and saying why things won't happen? My goal is already smashed, kindly. I'm actually gonna exceed that goal. I know that. I've put it out there and I'm sharing with you. So that's an example of my next 100 days. So I've set financial targets over the next 100 days that must be crushed. Because I'm like, I can't tell my clients to do something that I'm not doing myself. The next one was the health goal, which Jennifer spoke to you about. I realized that I get so tired, but I spend a lot of hours on this computer, not only being a creator, but serving clients and doing so many things. And I'm like, you know what? I had really fallen back from my gym, and I was very good with the gym, doing my swimming, doing and going, I go outdoors for my walks. But I was telling Jennifer on one of our, we speak every day, and I was telling her, Jennifer, when I go for a walk, I stop and pet people's dogs. I stop and smell flowers. I mean, I'm literally strolling. That's not even a walk. Esther, who is here, the other Esther McNeil. Esther goes, I think she does 7 minutes a mile or something like that. For me, I can even do 15 minutes because I go stopping, talking to people, looking at brochures that are on the road, entering shops. That's not exercise. That's just enjoyment. And I had to sit with myself and I'm like, this has to change. And the only way this has to change is take the stroll as a stroll. So still enjoy your strolls. Do your morning strolls. You like them, do them. 6 a.m., do your stroll. But go to the gym and do the hard work. And the excuse I had not reason was I had my arm, this one, and I like doing weights. And I was told not to do any weights. So I'm like, if I'm not going to the gym to do weights, then it's been sick. I've been going through physio without going into too many details. I injured it lifting weights. So I was told to stop doing those weights for a while. As I did, got the physio to get it back properly. So that was an excuse. I'm not going to go to the gym because if I go to the gym, it's only the treadmill, and the treadmill I can go outside. Do you guys understand? So I had to sit down and talk to myself and say that the reason is when I go to that gym, I'm able to put in more exercise. I don't have to lift heavy weights. But now that we're getting back proper function, it can do what it used to do. I'm not going to lift the 15 kilos. I'm not going to lift those heavy things. I'm just going to do the light 3 kilos until it gets its strength. So it's about moving your excuse into a reason. And what is the reason is that when I start doing those weights again, I'm going to light weights, I'm going to strengthen it, and soon it will get its full functioning. So I want to say this. When we play it safe, what we're telling ourselves is that we are actually avoiding the necessary risks for success. That's what we are doing, really. And the reality of this life is that we don't get credit. for playing safe. I'll tell you that. There's no credit for you playing safe. And the only way that you can make the best of your life, and we're winding up now, is to find out what we are capable of. And that's by taking that chance, making that decision, saying that I'm moving from excuses into creating that reason and just doing it. And that includes you really, challenging those old ideals, those old mindsets, those debilitating thought patterns that are no longer serving you. Asking yourself, where am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to do I want this for my children? Do you want your children to see you playing it safe for the rest of your life? Do you want your children, your daughter at 16 or 17, 18, telling you, Mommy, you actually don't inspire me much. I've just watched you hold back for us. And you had so many opportunities that you could have done better for yourself. Do you want your 16-year-old to tell you that? Do you want that? We'll have an excuse or a reason. It's as simple as that. And your excuses, again, exist for a reason. They are there to see if you truly want that thing that you say that you want. And they're there to prove, to show you, do I really, really, truly want this? Or have I chosen to fold my arms and be in survival mode rather than to do what you've been called to do here, which is to be fruitful, to dominate, to take possession of your territory, to put that stake in the ground and to put your hand in the plow and to say that I have been created for such a time as this. I have been created to be a woman of impact. I have been created as a woman of worth, to put myself out there, to face every storm and every battle. Because the work that we are doing is warrior work. The work that I do every single day is warrior work. No, this is not for the faint-hearted. And I'm not dismissing your work as well. Whatever you do is for you. But when I sit back and think about the work that I do, I say to myself, you know what? Girl, you're trying, but you can do better. And when I sit and think about my warrior work, I'm like, you know what? As long as I'm operating in my purpose and that I'm reducing myself and elevating God, I can tell you for a fact that there is no getting it wrong when you're doing the work you've been assigned to do. You can never get it wrong. You can never get it wrong when you're in your purpose. You can never get it wrong when you're serving. You cannot. You can never get it wrong because that's in your DNA. It was put in you even before the foundations of the earth, even before you were crafted in your mother's womb. Your purpose had already been set out for you to do. Your work is for you to really align with your creator, plug yourself to the source of all good things and say that, you know what, my battery is running dry, but I want you to charge me up. I want you to encourage me. I want you to flood me with that confidence. I want to be bold. I want to be courageous. I want to go and take my territory. I want to be a servant leader. I want to lead with a vision that is so much bigger than me. I want to step into what I've been called to do, to dominate, to be fruitful, and to subdue. And when you walk in with that, you see, even when I talk, that my stance changes because I believe that that's my calling. I have the conviction. Like, you can't convince me anything else. There's nothing else you can tell me. And I want to say this, each one of us, as we finish, darlings, each one of us has a story with experience, with strength, and with hope. I'm not gonna cry. When I think where I have come from, my friends, and where I am right now, I can tell you for a fact it has nothing to do with me. And that's why I said I'm reducing self and elevating God for the rest of my life. It's not about me. When I think about the things that could have potentially happened, just like Jennifer said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know. I want to say this, and I'm finishing. I have so many things in my mind. When you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes, but I'm also thinking it's time for us to really examine our time commitment as pertains to our purpose and our calling. Let's stop hiding behind our children's schedule. Let's stop hiding behind our spouse's needs. That, oh, my spouse needs this. Your spouse is a grown up. They're going to sort themselves out. Your kids need you, but they don't need you 24/7. They will grow up and go, and the kids want you to be an example to them. Stop making that excuse that you're always tired. You're tired because you don't lift your butt from this couch all day, or you spend the whole night from work instead of doing productive work. I say work your 9 to 5 and then work your 5 to 9, which is your side hustle. But you're spending that time seated on the couch and you wonder why you're sleeping at 2 a.m. watching series, and you wonder why you're tired. Duh. Right? So put your energy in the right places. So you have to ask yourself, do you waste time on Netflix binges or unnecessary things? Phone calls. I used to have phone conversations. You guys know I like to talk. I would literally talk on the phone with one person for 3 hours. I even wonder how that used to happen. That the battery dies, you go plug your phone into, which is so dangerous, I think. Instead of plug into that source, you plug into another source. And then you put the phone there in your ear for 3. I wonder what those conversations used to be about. And I want to say that this is a no excuse. Hi, Trifosa. Nice to see you, love. And I want to say this. And I'm so happy to see Trufasa because she knows me from my previous life. So she probably has seen my metamorphosis, how I have evolved through the years and how I'm now in this dimension that I've been placed at now. And that's why I say purpose evolves. Many of us stick to the same thing, thinking that you're like, it's like a tattoo, that I'm going to be there forever. Allow God to use you as he pleases, and through your evolution bring out layers of you that you never knew existed. Be a vessel of honor. Be a vessel to be truly transformed and used for the good of mankind. So let's talk about John Grisham real quick. Do you guys know John Grisham? Just write yes or no in the chat. John Grisham, I think many of us know him. I used to buy as a street novel buyer. In Kenya, when I was in Kenya, there are these people in the streets who sell novels or buy novels. Or when I go to a bookshop, the textbook center, whatever, I'm a serial book buyer. I'm such a book nerd. I read like 3-4 books at a given time. If you're on my Instagram, you see me sharing my books, right? But John Grisham did not make an excuse. So what he would do, he would write in the early morning. Early in the morning, he would wake up. He was an attorney. I don't know if you guys know this. So before starting his day job as an attorney in the courtroom, he would start early in the morning before going to court. He would start to write. He would start to write, write, early in the morning. And guess what? Many of you complain about time. But it took, and I like what Esther has said, she wants to be the vessel of God. That's who I am, fully submitted. And that's the most humble position that you can be for your elevation. So I want to say this. So he would write early in the morning before starting his day job as an attorney in the courtroom. And guess what? It took him 4 years, 4 full years to write his first bestseller. Do you guys know the book called A Time to Kill? I know that. I don't know if you guys know that. That's a book a big classic. It took him 4 solid years, but that book became a big bestseller. It's about making the time and getting creative with our lifestyle. There are so many pockets of time that you will find. You don't have to attend every party you've been invited to. You don't have to be in every conversation that is there. Sometimes just take a stand for yourself and you're like, you know what? This is not helping me. It's not adding to me in any way, shape, or form, right? And then say to yourself, what are the expectations that you set for yourself? So there are certain expectations that I set for myself, that the kind of standard that I create for my clients, the way I push my clients, I have to push myself even more than that. So I want to say this: expectations and confidence. I want to break this down for you. Expectations and confidence. Can someone write expectations and confidence? And we are finishing there. Because many of us use expectations as an excuse. Expectations of what you want to see. And Tiger Woods used to say, right? Listen to this, ladies. Tiger Woods used to say, I expect to win the tournament. Expectations actually are not confidence, but we confuse the two. They are cousins. Expectations and confidence are just cousins. So I want you to see it in context. He walked with that expectation, right? I'm gonna win. It's the same way Kaine is expecting that she will be in that Zanzibar. In the, what was it called? The one? The island. What was the Pate? Was it Paje? Villa Serenity. That's an expectation. So we can have, listen carefully, my ladies, we can have confidence in the things we can control, but we have no control over how things turn out, right? So we can have confidence. I have confidence that this is going to happen, but I really don't hold no control over how we want things to work out because there's so many situations outside of myself. But expectations, on the other hand, are out of our control in so many ways. So Kenya is holding that expectation that she's going to go. But there are so many things that are outside of her control as she does that. So you also need to realize that as you hold that expectation, right? Be in a position to say that, okay, I'm confident that this thing is going to happen and I'm expecting it to happen, but understanding what is within your control and what is outside of your control. Very, 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 very important distinction right there. So as I wind this up, I want you to, I waited for somebody to put in their, what is it called? Their, their normal statement. Who wants to share their normal statement? Your normal statement? So I want to say that, these expectations, they're out of our control and they often involve other people's opinion, of even us, right? So they can also expectations can actually turn into tomorrow, how you behave tomorrow, into tomorrow's resentments because you are hoping for something to happen. Then, so example, Kenny was going with her 6 friends. The 5 of them say they're not going. Then Kenny is like, even I won't go. But if she's confident, no matter what, whether those friends flake out, she's like, I'm going. And that's me. I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm very decisive in what I want. So if I'm going with my friends, like the other day, I have to share this story real quick. We're going for dinner with my friends and we booked this really, really nice restaurant. And we were going, 5 of us, literally an hour, 3 of them cancel because 2 are coming together and they're like, one is like, I don't drive and my friend is not coming, so sorry, I cannot come. Meanwhile, we have paid because it was a set banquet meal, it was some celebration, so they needed the restaurant to be paid in advance. So the payments had been made and the people had not paid to the rest, had not made the payment, but me and my friend had booked the hotel and put a down payment for everybody. Are you understanding? So we had already made an amount of money that was not, could not be cancelled because we had booked a full table and the thing had been sold out. So they're like, if the people don't turn up, it's on them. You guys lose the money. And I remember telling my friend that whether these people go or not, even if it's me and you, money we can work and make it. So all we need to do is tell them this is how much the table costs. This was your portion. You did not turn up. So that money needs to come from anyway. And if they don't, that's fine. It's on them. But we'll tell them anyway. And we went ahead. And the 2 of us had such an amazing time because we freed up the tables, even though the money had been paid. Some other people came and joined us. And we had such a nice evening. Why? Because we say to ourselves, we'll be confident in our decision. The fact that our expectations have not been met by people, other parties, we are not going to lose confidence in what we had agreed to do. That's what I want to say. So that we basically only, my dad always reminds me, the only person you're in control of is yourself. So when you operate from that place of confidence that the only person I'm in control of what? Can someone say? I can only control my effort. I can only control my attitude. I can only control my feelings. And when you think like that, you will have very little room for your expectations to be reduced by other people because you won't give space for that, right? And as Kenneth says, thank you for writing the normal statement. Let me read it out loud, Kenneth, for you and absorb it. Close your eyes. In fact, if you can get the recording on your phone and record me reading it even later. For Kaine, it is normal for Kaine Mbabazi to treat herself to a well-deserved break with her friends in a beautiful location, with a private pool, with a private chef, and bespoke tours. So I want to say this. For me, when it comes to expectations, I manage them. That's the word. I manage my expectations. I'm like the only person I'm in control of is myself. So I'm not gonna turn, other people's mediocrity or their own decisions, because some of them are just decisions that they make. I'm not gonna make someone else's decision push me down or stop me from doing what God put me here to do. So with that thing, I started saying to myself that you know what, I'm going to just operate within what is within Joanne's control and be confident with the abilities that are within me. So, for example, there are so many things that I do that are dependent on other people, e.g., my team. So, one of the things is I have expectations for my team, and my team is here. Part of my team is here. But one thing I have done so that I'm confident that my things are not, my things will not be affected by other people. I manage my expectations is by understanding every single area of my business. So when it comes to the systems, understanding, even like Jennifer will tell you, I tell her, jump, share the screen, show me what you're doing. I don't know how to do that. Show me how you do it. So that if somebody tomorrow wakes up and walks out, guess what? I can still be able to function. I'm not going to lose my mind. Why? Because I've made sure that I know as much as possible of every area of my business. So I'm confident in every area of it while still managing my expectations. Have you gotten that? Esther says it is normal. I'm going back and forth. Normal for me to spend time in God's presence early mornings. And Esther, I don't know why you've forgotten one of the ones you talked about. It is normal for me to fast and get the results that I look forward to. Because Esther and I had a really wonderful conversation on fasting and prayer. And then understanding that as you set these standards, right, you will be able to be in that position where you can defend yourself, because you'll be like, you know what? That's not on me. The decision is not on me. They chose to go that direction. They chose to do this other way. It's fine. I am confident that I have everything it takes to accomplish this task. And let me tell you, when you walk with that confidence, your life will change. And I'll finish with Kenya's statement. The only person I'm in control of is myself. I manage my expectations. So very quickly before I go, I know some of you are like, oh, she talked about the Purposeful business launch. We're going to talk about it more, when I come next, but I'm going to share with you the link. If you really want to get into that place where you're very confident with your, business, whether it's a new one, even if it's growing, come and attend and hear what it takes to really run a business, right? And decide for yourself. Because some of you are like, do I run a business? Do I not? So this Purposeful business launch will really help you establish, is this what I want to do? Is it not what I want to do? So you sort of get perspective for what you want. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to share with you the link so that you can just go and look at it. It's at a nominal fee, literally nominal. And I want you to take those early bird tickets right now before the prices change, if at all, because I want to make sure that we get you people working, we get you moving. And if you want also to book the 30-minute complimentary call with me, just to have a chat and let me know where you're at. And it's not a chat for chit chat, it's a chat for how can I support you, how can I help you. So Jennifer, can you please put the link for booking a clarity call with me as I get the link for the Purposeful Bootcamp? I'm going to share this with you right now. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna share the link and you can go look at it. And if you've done this course and you sort of want this boot camp, it's a 3-hour boot camp where we meet on Saturday the 27th, 3 solid hours of really giving you the creative ideas that you need to launch your business, giving you the mindset, giving you the tools. And I'm going to be talking about this a lot in depth in the coming few days, right? So let me just get this for you. And that's the link to book the 30-minute clarity call with me. You're like, you know what, I really need to talk to Joanne. I really want to hear how she can support me, if at all. book that call. It's a no obligatory call. So if you're like, oh, I'm scared that Joanne is gonna force me to take something I don't want to do, we don't force anybody. Here in my life we flow. And if it's for you, fine. If it's not, that's okay, right? We, as I said, we don't force, we flow. So we'll just, and at the worst case scenario is that, we'll have had a, we'll just have had a chat, and the chat will help you decide, so come with it from a place of, managing your expectations, and let's see how it goes, right? And believe that if it is for you, it is for you. And if it is for you, we shall work together. So real quick, you can say I'm a very good multitasker because I handle every part of my business. That's the link. I'll also show the link for the business. So there it is. You can take it from the chart. So this is the Purposeful Business Launch page. And of course, I'm not, as I said, I'm going to talk about it more in the next coming days, but you can take a sneak peek at it. It's it's an investment of $37 for the 3 hours. Come, learn, put in the money for yourself. And then after that, we see the direction that we're going to go together. And this is happening on the 27th of August. We're going to have 2 sessions because I have people in different time zones. So we're going to have the, morning session, which will, if you go to the page, you're going to see the hours, and then we'll have an evening session. So we'll have 2 sessions on that day. Block it, block it, block it. And I hope to see you there. And, if you, again, want to have the no obligatory chat, let's do that. But remind yourself what I said. Some of you are like, I can't afford to start a business right now. I can't afford this right now. I'm going to reframe it for you right now. You cannot afford not to launch that business, because that business is the ticket to you being a catalyst for change in the society. It's the ticket for you to be able to create the income that is unlimited. When you work in a job, I worked in a job, my salary was capped. I could only make a certain amount every month because it was a salary. So every month I was paid every 30 days. But as an entrepreneur, as a creator in the creator's economy, you can be paid every single day of your life. And there is no cap to that. You turn on the faucet the way you want. So I turn on the faucet, I launch courses, I turn on the tap, and the tap brings in my revenue. The more clients I serve, the more. So there's no cap to your income as an entrepreneur. Isn't that amazing? Can somebody write for me, no cap? And then when you decide that, you know what, I'll take a few days holiday, you have different streams of income. And we're going to talk about all these things in the boot camp. So you sound like one of my clients, she works in a full-time job. She's automated her business right now. And she's telling me, Joanne, it's so funny how these things run on clockwork. I'm sleeping and just hear ching, 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 money alerts coming in. So you make your business what you want it for you. I'm actively involved in my business because I'm a teacher and I do this full time. But if I decided for some reason to step back, we already have most of our systems automated, and we can be able to do this in rinse and repeat. It's just like for me, I love to talk, I love to teach. I'm part of it. You earn even as you're sleeping. Some of you are like, that's not true, but that's a creator's economy. It's a 24-hour economy. You don't go to work 9 to 5. There's no cap. Zero. No cap. You work, you make money. And you can work and launch. Many of you have seen. I launch programs. I sit and launch. I'm sit here and that's why I have to go to the gym, because I sit here and I'm a creator. I'm very creative. And I launch a course and I tell the team, guys, let's do something. Like now, I won't even go deep into it, but I have a mastermind that I have, and I'm like, you know what, we need to do this for the mastermind, and we create all these things, and we have all these different pieces of the puzzle. That's why, as I said to you, we are only on the 4th day, right? And I'm at, was it 30% or so of my target on the 4th day of August? Why? Because there is no cap. And now that I've seen that, and that target is a higher target than I had set for myself, so I'm like, you know what, we're gonna do that. And one of the principles that is guiding me this month, some of you may understand, is quantum leaps. I'm not making small systematic changes in my life. I'm making quantum leaps. So when I went to renew my gym membership had expired, as I did mention. That that's part of the 100-day challenge. And I went and they said, oh, your gym expired at the end of July, at the end of early July, and I'm like, oh yeah, 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 and she's like, oh, your monthly payments, and I'm like, no, I'm not paying monthly. I'm gonna pay for the year. How much is it for the year? Why? Because I'm like, I'm locking this thing in. Because if I pay monthly, oh, this month I don't want to do, this month I don't want to do, I'll just lie to myself. But if I pay for the year and I see those several £100 leaving my bank account, I'm not going to play with it. Because money is a resource that has been given to me, and as a prudent user of what has been given to me, it would be very disrespectful to God to play around with that thing, because that money could have been used for anything else. So guess what? I locked that 1 year thing. And I told her, just, I'm going to pay for the year. And I gave her my credit card and recharged it. And I'm like, you know what? That's what it is. So this is not the time to be flaky. This is not the time for you to be like, oh, the year has ended. Let me just wait for the year to end. It's not ended. We're in August, the month of new beginnings. Start now. Commit and decide. Start now. Commit. Decide and commit. And step into that being, because you're a human being. So go check out the boot camp. The link is there. Give it a look. Make your payment. Invest in yourself. We say that we don't pay for these things. We invest in ourselves, because there's the return on your investment cannot be enumerated. You pay that little fee, but what comes out will completely blow your mind. It will open your mind and take you into stratospheres, you know, of change and of evolution and of growth that you never thought possible. So 1.5 hours, I'm done, guys. It's been an amazing session, and we will see you next week, right? I'll be doing Instagram lives and a couple of other activities between now and next week. But I want to thank you for everyone who joined, and those who are watching via the replay. I take off my hat to you. I hope the content is valuable to you. And write for me a big bye in the chat. Let me know. Bye, 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 bye. It's been wonderful. Be productive. Be intentional, and decide today that you're going to be fully who you're created to be. And we're going to finish with kind of statement again. It's such a worthwhile investment. And if you implement what you learn, you'll make the investment times 10. And I'm even going to dare add in the thousands. That was wonderful having each one of you. I feel so blessed. And I want you to think always, how will I make a return on my investment? That comes from you being an embodiment of the person that you are, that I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to commit to it no matter what. That was wonderful. You thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you, Esther. And Team Joanne, always so loving. You're telling me bye. Like, can you you go, let's go. And thank you, Tim, for keeping me in check. And again, for your support. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for your beautiful insights at the beginning. We are such a beautiful team, and we really, really care for each other. And Esther says, bye, 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 bye. Old version of me, it is gone. It is finished. It's a new beginning. Number 8 is the month of new beginnings. And then next month, we step into the month of birthing. So you're going to hear me talking a lot as we move closer to that time. We'll talk about a lot of birthing energy. We're going to tap into our birthing energy. We're going to tap into us really giving of ourselves and bringing into fruition that which is meant to come from us. And Tim, thank you to Joanne. Thank you. God bless you too. God bless you too, Team Joanne. Thank you, everybody. It's been so wonderful. And again, I take out my hat to you. For some of you, I know it's really late. For some of you, I know it's during the evening. It's time to have your dinner. But for me, it is time for me to buckle down to my next 100 days. It is time for me to buckle down and help you achieve the results that you want. It is time for me to buckle down and start putting such a firm foundation for 2023. And I pray that each one of you really do not come as a fly on the wall in this thing. You're going to implement everything that we have talked about. And I can tell you, if you just take one nugget from today, your life will completely change. And I can't wait to see the photos of you kind of in that Paget Island as the Serenity Villas. I'm already there with you. Thank you so much, Joanne and Jennifer. Awesome session. You truly are the dream team. We truly are the dream team. And Jennifer, you've had that one. I'll keep reminding you, we are the dream team. And Yanni, who's not here, it's very late for her. It's in the middle of the night in the Philippines. We are a team, really. And she's asleep, ready to wake up in the middle of the night. So we literally work around the clock. So Jennifer and I are more or less in the time zone, and then we have another shift happening at night so that you guys are well taken care of. This is a well-oiled machine. We don't leave anything hanging because we're here to serve you. We are here to give you the best, and we're here to deliver a standard of excellence. And that's what Jennifer said. We establish preeminence. We are the best at what we do, and we do not even hide. And because of that, we have to set an expectation, a standard that is beyond just the norm, but that comes from commitment, that comes from investing in ourselves, and that comes from us working together as a team. And thank you for being in my life. Thank you for being in my tribe. And until next week, my darlings, take care. Invite your friends to watch this replay. Watch it again and again. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do go and again look at the business boot camp. We've just launched. Make your decision, book it. If you've done it and you want to do it again, do it again. You can never do this stuff enough because it really has to ingrain into your subconscious. All right, so mwah, 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 mwah. Bye guys, see you next week, same time. And next week will be earlier, but no, same time. Then the next week we regularize. All right, bye, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you in and around the streets of the internet, where it is a creator's economy, where we are flourishing, where we are taking territory through the clouds, right? We're in the clouds, we're taking territory, and we're dominating, and we're subduing everything that has its name attached to me. I'm calling it forth, and I call it forth for you as well. Bye, everybody. Take care. I could talk forever. Have a good evening, morning, night. Bye, 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 bye.